Alright, welcome back everyone, I'm Evil Tim, and this is Let's Play Homefront. So let's go back to playing Homefront, shall we? But first, let's have a look at the fine financial planning behind this game. Yes, they hosted their official website's images on PhotoBucket, and Chaos Studios was in fact shut down on June the 13th of the prior month type thing by the THQ type people because of their grave failures. If you're not aware, this game actually managed to drop THQ stock by 26% with only the power of its Metacritic scores. So he is going to hide from the Metacritic scores behind this vehicle. Meanwhile, we will have to sally forth 5th and 6th in order to face down their dreadly invisible wall. A true meeting of the minds as Connor speaks unto his fellow troglodytes. Also, how come anyone knows what anyone else looks like here, given that no one's been beyond the wall, as was previously established? Oops, scare cord. I guess it's highly unreasonable of them not to want her up in their face and such.
I'll take the bitch and Scarface hiding over there.
Because he's the one I want.
I think you're getting the bad end of that deal.
Yeah, you're going to get cooties because she's a girl. Right, so they're going to have a fight here, which mysteriously none of the other people watching are going to give a damn about. Those people are apparently all dead from being vaguely menaced. We, meanwhile, have a bit of a fight on our hands now that they've been truncheoned into oblivion, but we don't have time for that. We've just washed our hands, so let's prepare for a different type of fighting, a long-range type of fighting carried out from behind a crate in a fascinating manner. I don't know where they got these crates from exactly. I guess they stole them from the Koreans so that people would have stuff to hide behind.
They're supposed to be on our side.
Yes, because Americans agree about absolutely everything. And that's why we can kill them, by the way. They are un-Americans. Okay, that's an idea so stupid that the level itself will actually mock it later, though that doesn't really dignify the fact that it came up with it in the first place. What exactly use is money going to be out here? What do you think it would do for them? Nothing, that's what. So, anyway, we'll take out these mans over here who are trying to run around in a disorganized manner. He will shout a tedious internet meme, and then we will reload our weaponry and have to take on this house thingy, which they have occupied in a deviated manner. So we'll make our way over here so that we can spot this man's knoggin, because he isn't using it anyway, except for his thoughts of monster trucks and such like. So we'll pick up this weapon and fire it at their bridge, thus that they may never cross it again and menace their fellow non-troglodytes. And then we will go over here and have a quick scout about this location. As ever, the reflection is completely wrong. We are apparently in glorious Sherwood Forest here. Meanwhile, the trees themselves have ridiculous 2D leaves again and look awful. So let's have a quick stare at them in a baleful fashion, and then we will go over here and investigate their fence and see how it was that we got into this place. So yes, there's a bit of a hole here. You'd think that survivalists would be rather big on maintaining their fences, being as that's how they survival, but apparently not. There's more fake reflections there, portals into strange other dimensions, a weird building made of stuff, and a high voltage fence which we can touch. Yeah, so they totally patched up that gap there, didn't they? And it's apparently very ephemeral material which does not allow anything to hit it. So, yeah, we can't crawl through there, despite the fact that we clearly can, and you can actually even go down into that river down there, but not from this side, so it's utterly useless. There's a bloke over there with a paper bag on his head, so apparently they're just as bad as the Koreans, throwing bag-head people into rivers and such like. But we'll go and investigate him later on after we have dealt with the guys hiding in this house over here. So, this is where I died, by the way, just in case you're wondering, because they haven't actually put a checkpoint here. You are returned right to the start of the level, and you have to watch the unskippable cutscene thing or all over again and investigate the plot holes that result from that. So, he's now going to start bugging us. He bugs us twice in a row immediately.
Get over here.
He bugs you really fast in this section as well. But the weird thing about this is there's actually like 3 intels in this area, and they want you to explore it, so I really don't get why they have him nag you consistently anyway. So let's have a look down here. North Korean Special Forces aim to be the best in the world by doing best in the world type things with American-made weapons. That's the excuse, you see, because America made the best weapons in the world despite its imploded economy and general collapse. No, I don't get it either. So, he's going to continue obnoxiously whining at us. This is basically the most condescending level I've ever seen in a video game. Not quite yet, admittedly, as I'm oddly fascinated by this during this particular level's run, and there's some more stolen Korean crates. But this level features the second most condescending thing I've ever seen in a video game, rather. I will show you the first in a moment. And yes, there's a vehicle here which has nicked those crates in a devious fashion. There's that bloody sofa again, and trespassers will be shut on sight. That's mean of them. So let's have a look at this newspaper. American military seen as unwanted in new era of East Asian peace. Now let's have a look at what the most condescending thing in video games is. Thank you, Dead Space. I had never made that association before. Yes, some games will tell you how to run. Dead Space tells you what running is. No, meanwhile, the strange forest will appear below us as it is wont to, and then we will go over here and investigate that bloody armchair again. And new Korean president plans to modernize the Korean military, which I believe he did quite thoroughly, so I don't know why they're telling us about it. Yes, I have no idea what the hell this area over here is even for. It doesn't make any sense. You can't get over here during the actual firefight. You'll be shot dead if you even try. I guess maybe it's part of some sort of multiplayer level or something. So let's have a look over here where they are cooking nothing. That's mean of them, and they have dropped a ladle upon the floor in an unsanitary manner. That's no good at all. That chair is following us around. We'll have to deal with it sooner or later. I think it's the final boss, and here they has a bucket, because if they can do tedious internet memes, so can I. So let's run over to him and see what it is that he wants from us. Let's see.
Don't fire until I give the word.
Oh, cool, he's handed us a metal pole. That's nice of him. No, he's handed us a snipity rifle, and we apparently got one of these as well from somewhere. Maybe I picked it up, I don't know, I can't remember. Do not accuse me, sir, with your eyes. So yes, this is a suppressed rifle with one of those silly Hollywood silencers and a variable type zoom scope thingy. It's bolt action, and it has an unscientific 5-round magazine, whereas the real one, this is a Cheyenne Tactical M200 intervention type rifle, actually has a 7-round magazine. But let's have a quick look at these murder-lated Koreans over here, and then I will explain to you how this rifle actually works. You see, a rifle in a video game doesn't work like a real one, because ray tracing light through a series of lenses would be an advanced form of torture for any processing type thingy. No, instead what actually happens is that it sticks an overlay over the screen, only this one doesn't delete the rifle model at the right time, so you end up looking through the scope at the scope, which is very silly. So that's another bit of good quality playtesting, and we're going to have a quick scruddle around here looking for another one of those intelligences, because I believe that's the only kind we're ever going to encounter. Right, here it is, lurking around on the side of the road in a logical fashion. So the US Pacific Fleet has been consolidated to Pearl Harbor. Good for them, I say. So we've picked that up, and now Sockus tells me that just down the road, I believe it says, is another one by a cabin, but it's actually miles down the road, and he's a twit again. So let's run over here and we will find that. Now what we're actually in here now might be described by some people as a stealth section or a sniping section. However, both of these things are wrong. This is actually a Simon Says section. If you do anything other than exactly what you are told, you will die. Cargo carriers find new life in the Korean military, because of course everyone loves living in what is essentially a large metal convection cooker.
Probably picking off another North patrol. Captain doesn't want nobody near that helicopter.
How many North Korean patrols have they killed exactly?
Yeah, in the yard behind the church. You ain't seen it?
Exposition.
I heard they're Korean snipers in the woods.
That's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
Everyone knows there's Jews. Yeah, so apparently we have lots and lots of random dead Koreans lying around, and all these people haven't died of something terrible in the meantime.
Cut through the field.
Now, the thing about this level is that absolutely nobody can see you except at certain specific scripted times. That nobody can really spot you at all. It's ridiculous and rubbish. So, let's follow Connor Moron around here and see if we'll actually be allowed to do anything sooner or later. You've got to follow him. So, okay, there's a guy over there. A sniper with an M4? Yes, there are actually no snipers in the entire game. Okay. What he actually means is, Jacobs, when I tell you you have a clear shot, take it. That's how condescending this level is. You're not allowed to think in the slightest. It's not a sniping section, because in a sniping section you would actually have to figure out what target is what. Okay, so this is what actually happens. How do you know? Alright, so I'm actually zoomed in anyway. which is great because there are no bullet physics in this game, so how far away people is has no effect on anything. So let's load that back up, split it around, and then we will continue to follow this brain donor.
Wait for them to leave.
Oh no, the evil people are being mean to the other evil people.
They're toying with him.
Okay, so where exactly did they get all this ammunition from to just piss it away like this? Are they manufacturing it themselves? Do they steal it? For that matter, where did they get all these North Koreans from? And you'll see later they must have killed at least an entire battalion here.
We don't kill for sport.
Just let him walk away. Jesus, how did Boone hook up with these guys?
Yeah, that will be a question that the game never intends to answer. I guess it probably involved that barn at dusk and a long shot and cries of it's twoo, it's twoo, it's twoo. But the game has no intention of ever substantiating that, and with the demise of Chaos Studios, I don't think we're ever going to find out. Private property again, so that's a good thing to put up, like, right in the middle of your farm, after all. So let's go and hide behind this tractile machine here and have a look over there, where they're doing more evil things. Yeah, so apparently they're forcing them to turn the Tiberium or something, I really don't know. But anyway, everyone's got to follow him and go. And he's going to keep saying random military things during this entire section. Also, I really like the way that they just handed Jacobs the sniper rifle. I mean, he's a pilot. What the hell does he know about firing a sniper rifle? Is this how Connor actually runs the rest of his life? Hey, you're a nun. Here's a fishing rod. Okay, so apparently they've got so many of them that they can afford to just kill them for no reason at all. That's strange and bizarre. How has this place not been bombed into oblivion? I mean, I know they couldn't really bomb it into the Stone Age because that would be an improvement, but
You handle the guy blocking our exit.
okay, so Rihanna's going to stand there.
I didn't sign up for this.
I don't believe you signed up for it at all. Also, do you not remember the 2 Americans that we killed at the start of the game who were my fellow pilot? Oh, they were black, never mind. Okay, so we've apparently broken her tiny little mind with that thought, and she's wandered off back the way we came in a broken AI type fashion. I will give it that this never happened during my practice runs, and I am currently waiting for her in puzzlement and bemusement. So let's instead talk about the biggest problem with this game. The biggest problem with this game is what they call the Why We Fight sections, of which this is presumably supposed to be one. But the problem with these is they don't really tell you what we're fighting for, they only tell you what we're fighting against. It's fine to know how evil the bad guys are, but basically the US is a screwed non-state in this, whether the Koreans invade or not, so what are we supposed to be fighting for? It's never really gone into. So she's apparently come back from her bizarre little excursion, and her broken little brain will now pilot her over there, where she will do that same animation she did the first time. She'll duck down first in a silly fashion, and then she will wander over to his oblivious self and give him a good old strangling, because that doesn't make the slightest bit of sound. Meanwhile, the crosshair pointy thing has turned red, which means we are supposed to kill people, no doubt. We made a tactical intervention into that fellow's life. So, now that we've done that, let's blunder into that garage over there, and then we'll see what other mysteries await us in this universe which we call Earth. So, now we've picked up a bunch more clicking noises, let's wander out into the big wide world and see what it's got in store for us. No, you don't.
Over there, Korean recon chopper.
Okay, where's this Korean-type recon helicopter? It's over here, in
Do you
fact.
think they're here for us?
Yeah, apparently if the helicopter spots you, so do the survivalists. I really don't know how that works, but never mind. So there's a bunch of people hiding in a loft in a childish manner, and now we have to hide back here, even though they didn't really tell us to do that. So,
What are they doing out this far?
being stupid.
Surgeons from Colorado.
Well, you'd think they'd just send heavy bombers out if they wanted to do things to them, but never mind. I guess that thought didn't occur to them, despite the aforementioned fact that they must have killed about one Korean battalion here. So, let's go and see what's in store for this world. Oh no, they shot the helicopter down. It's almost like that was a really bad idea or something. So, let's blunder over here in a tactical fashion and follow Connor, because we are still playing the old Simon Says. Okay, so we'll stare balefully onto this oddly high-tech rifle that they have, and then we will move over here and hear them mocking the earlier part of the level. Exactly, money ain't worth shit out here, so why exactly were those guys talking about a bounty earlier? And Why were the Koreans coming out and offering the money? It doesn't make any sense at all. But never mind, let's walk forwards. And this is the thing about this level, it really might as well just be a quick time event. That's how it all works. You can't do anything except the precise prescribed thing that the programmers want you to do. I mean, even that sniper-y type level in Call of Duty 4, you had the option of shooting the wrong people, or doing it in a manner which Macmillan did not approve of. Here, you'll fail the mission if you do anything that they don't approve of, if you do the slightest naughty thing, rather than just having to fight a bunch more fellows as you would there. So I imagine that any minute now, Connor is going to start insisting that we run down a fiery tunnel without our Varia suit, but that will be for the future, no doubt, so we will swing and miss at him repeatedly because he is an idiot. Wait a minute, this guy saw a massive mass grave earlier and now he's like, goddamn, at a guy digging a hole? He has like the most variable ability to be horrified that I've ever seen in my life.
Got this dumb Nork digging his own
You'll notice
grave.
that absolutely everyone has their mouth covered except the guy who's digging the hole. I wonder if there's any kind of reason for that. Let's zoom in on him and see what he's got for us. Don't look at me like that, you fellow. We're trying to prove a point here. There you go, you see his lips don't move. It's almost like this is really lazily programmed or something. What on earth? We killed like 200 Koreans by now at least. 300. That's actually one of the problems of this game, is they want you to believe this is some kind of small-scale, local-type action, and yet you've still got the kill count of a regular FPS. It doesn't make any sense at all. So we'll take that guy out over there, and then we will continue further onward, past these blind and thoroughly stupid men, and following the Connor man, hoping that his brain doesn't break like hers did earlier. That guy over there will inexplicably not hear a bunch of loud people sneaking across a field with big guns, and we will go up here, up this rampity thing, and in to the place as he stares at that blue cradle thing.
Have to cut through the house.
My god, that's the most horrible house I've ever seen in my life, and therefore it makes perfect sense for you to say things like that. It's not, is that really a what sort of a window, really? I don't know, but let's eliminate this guy over here. That is the only time in this level you can do something other than what he says and not fail, so I will defy him openly with my ways. We'll make a lot of clicking sounds, and we'll pick up this here Scar H-type LMG with its silly little sight and admire there growing some more cress. Iran is accusing Saudi Arabia of escalating an arms race in the Middle East, whereas Saudi Arabia said that they had an elevator.
Back of the bullet hole clean through it. Snork bastard must have had him in his shirt pocket.
Why is this interesting? Right, I'll load that up. We've already got low ammo, and then we will watch as these men go away, because apparently that's what you do when someone asks you for a light, is you just wander
We're
off.
dead on takeoff unless you shoot
They
this
must be
asshole.
fans of those unlit type cigarettes. So we've got to take this guy out here who has one of those unguided rocket launchers and therefore is an immense threat to any helicopter that happens to be wing-a-linging its way past. We'll fiddle around with that and then we will run over here in order that we may continue the level further and stop coughing. It's a very dry and warm day it is over here, don't you know? So let's follow this Connor fellow along the length of this pipe, and then we will hear more boring backstory of the various people that we don't care about. She's going to run over there and admire that telegraph pole, but that doesn't matter because we've got heads on spikes, and that's wrong. And what, is somebody painting their Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Army here all of a sudden? Who knows? It's very stupid. If I look in here for a minute, I apologize if anyone thinks it's gross, but it's not. They just put a water texture in there, and I guess that's supposed to be maggots or something. Who knows? It's really kind of stupid and dense. But let's wander forth here and jump down past the Sawtooth and have a look in the bushes to find that the North Korean dictator has been reported dead, whatever his name is. Incidentally, if you're not aware, in the Japanese version of this, the North Korea references to North Korea are replaced with references to a northern nation, so apparently Canada is invading.
Should be close. Just keep it together.
Why is he leaving that weird little ripple there? They realize he has two legs
Oakland?
rather than like a
Yeah.
hull under there or something.
Plenty assholes just like these guys lynched anyone who looked even slightly Asian.
Oh no, that was
I
terrible.
got lucky. They just burned my house down.
Oh, that was nice of them.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so everyone's gonna make their
War
sort
brings
of...
out the worst in all of
What, are
us.
they like...
Come
Are these
here
people
with
like
bad
walking
eyes.
along with invisible swans
One
between
for
their
many.
legs or something? It's strange and inexplicable. Meanwhile, speaking of strange and inexplicable things, even more dead Koreans. And my god, that was... was that actually supposed to shock us? I mean, it was... He was miles
We have
away.
nowhere to go. We have to keep moving.
Okay, so this is, incidentally, this is where we're going to break stealth here, because you know there's nothing we did prior to that which could not have been accomplished had we not been stealthy after all. So let's take this fellow out over here. Really, they might as well have just put the safety on your gun. It's not like you can fire it anywhere other than where they tell you to. So let's, now that we are back into a fighting mode, we can take out all of these blokes who are hiding behind a variety of structures. Right. Okay, so let's take out more of these fellas, then we've got to reload our rifle after we've fired the final shot. There we go. Right, give that a bit of the old bolt workety, and then we will have to take out more of these guys, because apparently this lot have been breeding or something. It's kind of odd that despite the sheer size of the survivalist compound, which must have thousands of people in it, given that we only visit a very small part of it, all of whom have automatic weaponry they got from somewhere, and all have grenades, which they also got from somewhere, we don't see a single woman during the entire time here, or even a single child or family member. I guess this is some sort of strange genetic cloning man facility or something, which also has a lot of scarves. And yes, there's more of these spikes with heads on them. There are, you know, if this place was this much of a pain in the ass for the North Koreans, they would have destroyed it ages ago. There's no way it could exist. It doesn't make the slightest bit of sense. Oh, let's load that back up again. And by the way, we haven't actually got to the most condescending part of this level yet either. That's coming. You'll see. It will be marvelous. But we've got more of this generic shootity first. So let's make the most of it, shall we? You, sir, you need to be shot in the arse, don't you know? So we will refiddle that, load it up again, and then we'll have a quick wander around here, because I need to replace my weaponry, don't you know? Because this won't be even slightly useful in the upcoming firefight. This is one of the problems that you tend to have with the two-weapon system, is that you're never really sure what you need unless they either just throw it right down on the floor in front of you and say you want one of these, or they give you blatant hints as to what's coming up, as they don't in this game. So we're going to have to go and get ourselves an assault rifle, as I have learned from playing this through repeatedly. So here is one, and we will use it upon our foe. Why? You know, these barricades are supposed to be for defending the place, so why would you just prop dead Koreans on them or something? What, were they spanking them to death? Who knows? So we'll have a quick look over here, because there's another one of those intelligences here. There we go. Massive back doors uncovered in Korean-supplied circuitry. Okay, why would you solicit circuitry from your ideological enemy? What sense does that make, precisely? Alright, so now we're going to wander over there, and that gets another scare cord, despite the fact that nothing has even happened. We'll look over here, where they have tilted over chairs. Maybe that is what was intended to frighten us, who knows? We certainly don't, and we never will. So there's some bricks tied there, and I always end up wandering around there looking for these two weapons, but they are over here. And included in them is this here useless type rifle, which has a silencer on it, despite the fact that you don't need to be even slightly silent for the entire remainder of this level. I don't know what it's all about, and neither does anyone else in the universe. But it's got one of those ACOG-ery scopes, which aren't ACOG scopes, so we are happy with it, with our... yeah, they survived it, and they, apparently in fighting conditions. Okay. I don't know what that means either. So, okay, suburban flight grows as martial law begins to restore order. Americans are apparently even jumping around, flapping their arms or something. Who knows? But let's take out these mans here, because I believe that they are all baddies, and baddies need to be shot in their noggins. So let's load that thing up there. This is Bluey's rifle once again. Yes, apparently all of these guys decided to write Bluey on their rifle as well. He's a popular chap down here in the States. So let's have a quick look around here and see if we can find some guys who we can shoot in the feet. Yes, there you go, sir. You have been defeated. You saw it coming a mile off. Stop groaning and killing yourselves. Right, so let's throw some grenades over here, because that sounds like a plan that I would approve of. So let's lob all those around there. Yay, he was sent in a flying fashion. That was good for him, I suppose. It was the most interesting thing that's happened to him today, and given that it killed him, is the most interesting thing that'll ever happen to him again, either. So let's load that thing up there, and then we'll walk over here and move in closer to our foes. He's going to make a strange clicking sound, and then we will see if we can find some more blokes who we can empty our ammunitions into. Oh no, a grenade. Let's walk over here, and then the game will save and chug slightly. So, let's walk over here and have a look up on the tailboard of this thing, because apparently there's another one of these high-tech type sniper rifles here. I don't know where they're supposed to have got these things from, or why they're not using more traditional redneckery type weapons. You would think that they would all have, like, shotguns and hunting rifles or something, but no, apparently they stockpiled every automatic weapon and loads of optics and shit, just in case. It's not sensible, is it? No, so let's go over here and see what we can find in this place, which is a thing. There's a bloke over there on a board, being rotated, and we will examine him later. But there's also people over there who we must blast with our blasts. So we'll do that using our scope, and then, because I can't recognize who's who in this universe, we are going to accidentally shoot at our comrades over there for a while. That just proves how easy it is to recognize people in this game, doesn't it? So, let's... What was going on there? Was Hopper trying to hump her leg or something? Right, so let's take out more of these blokes who are popping up like gopher-type people, and then load that up and find some more. It seems like a plan. We've got ourselves an ACR rifle, which has rails on the side of its scope in a silly manner. So let's, that rotatey bloke over there will be killed, but I will explain what happens with him in a moment. So up here is a man, but no longer. We have solved his issues using bullets. That is the solution to all the world's problems, it turns out, is just to use a suitable application of violence. So that's him out the way, and that's him out the way. Not that they were ever really in the way, but that's not the point, and not at all, and not even slightly. It's a matter of principle, don't you know? So we'll gun these fellows over here down as well, and then we will see if we can find any more people who have offended ourselves by existing. There we go. So apparently Connor fell over. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Perhaps he failed to tie his shoelaces because he did not understand the concept. And over here is another man lurking around upon a tower a mile away. But we've run out of ammunition, my god. Luckily, he can't hit us anyway because he's a terrible shot. So how can he hit a helicopter, you ask? Well, let's stop asking questions. So let's have a quick search over here and see what this dude here is all about. Now, this guy here, if he had survived, would ask you to kill him. The thing is, they apparently have been throwing bayonets at him rather than knives, despite the fact that none of them actually have bayonets in this level. And also, the only actual injury this guy has is he's got one knife. He's got one knife just below his foot, but he's got one knife in his hand, and that's it. That's not really, oh my god, kill me territory. Oh, ye gods, this is torture. He's been stabbed in the hand. Yeah, you know. So what? Most of your other friends have been, like, dismembered yet. Stop whining. So, another snipity rifle there, but we don't want that. We've got another one of these here instead. So, let's take that and then have a look around here and see what we've got. There's another special weapon here. It's a Scar HLMG with an ACOG scope. So, let's load this thing up here and then see if we can pick up some ammo, but we can't, don't you know? That's what it looks like, and there's its ACOG type scope. But that doesn't matter. Let's pick up our old one instead, which has, again, turned into the previous one. The strange thing is that you can't actually pick up the ammunition that's in the magazine, despite the fact that it's like 100 rounds for that weapon. So, yeah, it doesn't make the slightest bit of sense. Or is it 75? I can't remember, and it doesn't matter anyway. So let's have a quick look around here and see if we can find ourselves another intelligence. Now, ever helpful, the guide says it's on the house with the red stripe on the bottom, which, you know, that one over there actually isn't, as it turns out. So let's have a quick run along here in the wrong direction, and they'll worry about patrols. But we're out of time, apparently, so why weren't we out of time before? Maybe we're out of time because we did all that stupid sneaking, who knows? But let's have a look over by this cabin here, which it turns out this is the cabin with the red stripe, which is located on our right. There we go, we've discovered it. The previous one was not a cabin with a red stripe. So let's have a look here, where they will libel Raytheon, as it turns out. Yes, Korea is now the largest supplier of American processors, and it turns out that Raytheon would, if they could, contract all of their stuff out to the Koreans, who would then betray the universe. Meanwhile, they are trees down there, but we don't care about that. We don't like all of these under-the-world type trees. They're not our style. We're not taking a journey to the center of the earth today, and there's a storm brewing in the distance, and we don't like that kind of thing either. However, also far off in the distance there is a church, and maybe if we pray just right, the Lord will use the power of the storm to strike down Connor with a righteous bolt of lightning or something. Really, it's much more likely than that this plan will succeed, so I'm all for it. Meanwhile, we're going to go over here and have a look at their Gravel McYard type place, where they have put heads on poles again, including a pile here. Wait a minute. Wait, why is it the perfect spot for me? I'm the pilot. Shouldn't I be as near to the helicopter as possible? Doesn't the entire plan hinge on me? No, I guess not. I'm an all-purpose protagonist, apparently. So in spite of the fact that if I died, all of this will have been for nothing, I'm going to be the one who's miles away from the helicopter while all of them stand around near it, nagging me to get closer. That's also not the most condescending and stupid thing about this level. So let's go and find out what it is, shall we? Let's go forth. How do you know that the bell tower can even be climbed? I mean, look at how badly damaged this church is. That's entirely possible. There'd be no way up at all.
I hate guard duty with you. Quit complaining. It's not like anything's gonna happen.
Oh, the irony. So let's make our way up to them with our invisible grenade and defeat them that way. There we go, we defeated them. You see, they were wrong. Something did happen. That's just the way this game rolls, you see. Always confounding your expectations with its exploding, derelict truck-type behavior. So that guy's going to run out of there. We'll deal with him in a moment. But first, we'll chuck another grenade there, because that's what we do when we are threatened. It's our animal-type response. Some animals curl up, others throw hand grenades. That's the wonders of nature. So that guy's going to pop out there, but we are an expert at pop-up type things from years of practicing with a little squeaky hammer at fairs and such like. So we have defeated all of our foes as they attempted to hide behind construction equipment. Also, if these guys are supposed to be rednecks, shouldn't the church be like the most maintained building in the entire area? Wouldn't that make some kind of sense? I guess not. Let's pick up this newspaper here, which is another one of those references to Japanese nuclear reactors blowing up, which they should probably have done something about, but didn't. So we'll put that away, file it into our oblivion, because you can't look at these ever again, and we will go into the churchity place. I was searching around there because... wow, that's fantastic. So, I was searching around there for a shottle gun, but I have now found it propped up against this wall here. So, now that we've got it, we'll never release it from our corrosive grasp. That's not precisely the word I wanted. So, what do we got to do now? Well, we got to clear out this place with our weapons we have, because they are apparently all hanging around in it, even though the only entrance is on the second floor. It strikes me that that would make praying difficult, but then again, what do I know? I'm not a talented game designer, so I can't make those kinds of decisions. I'm not the kind of guy who can drop my parent publisher's stock by 26% on one day with my Metacritic scores. I'm kind of glad about that, actually. You're an elbow. You must be destroyed before you grow into another fellow. Meanwhile, another guy's run over there, but another guy is hiding behind these crates here. So why did they carry the crates in here and put them on the second floor? What are they full of exactly? Are they full of God? Is that what their plan is here? They're going to ship him here from their foreign place and assemble him? Is that the ultimate goal of the Koreans? Oh, I don't know, but there was another elbow there attempting to join the first one in order to make two elbows and therefore the start of a man. We couldn't allow that, so we blasted it with justice and democracy. So over here there's some more stuff, so we'll look over here and there's a very tattered American flag there, hung on the cross for some reason. I guess that is symbolic of the fact that the programmers don't really understand symbolism. So, now that we have been assembled by that in a percussional manner, we will ignore it and look at this box instead, which is fresh produce, which I doubt. So, let's climb up this here incredibly noisy ladder, and then we'll make our way further forward into our own future. There's another one of these weapons here, and I think we're probably going to need one, because there's going to be a very stupid sniping section coming along later. You'll notice that that one doesn't have the camo on it that the original one had. I guess it's just one of those one-off things that you only get a chance at once in life. If you fail at camouflage the first time, then, well, you're just going to have to become a sheep farmer. That's life, I'm afraid. So let's hide behind this invincible plank of wood and then quickly pause the game to ensure the quality of this recording. I forgot that I was playing Homefront and thus that would be impossible. But never mind that now. There's a man over there lurking in a fashion, and usually if you forget about him, he'll defeat you. But we've defeated him with a single blast to the everywhere. Alright, so let's load that back up and then grab ourselves some nothing, because we don't need any ammo. We are powerful and prepared, we are. So let's run forth to the get to tower arrow. You know, I'm fairly sure we could just write objective on it.
Jackpot.
Oh, right, that was the jackpot. I had wondered what that earthquake was. Yes, apparently the entire thing collapsed as we walked through the door. So again, how exactly would Connor think that this tower would be accessible at all? And here it is. This is the most condescending thing in the game. It starts by giving us an achievement for doing basically nothing. That's time-based, by the way. It's for getting up here in a certain amount of time. But here it is, the not at all a sniping section.
Wait for it.
It's a bit like that section in Battlefield Bad Company 2 where you're being told where the people you're shooting at are, except that they tell you where they are with a little pointer as well as telling you the location, so you don't have to find them. You don't have to make the first shot count because they will ignore you regardless of how many shots you fire at them, as long as the timer doesn't expire. And you're not asked to judge the shot either, because you just have to wait for the little logo atop them to turn red to indicate that you're ready to shoot. There's no thought into this. You don't even have to compensate for range, windage, or other bulletology, because the thing always hits the dead center of its crosshair. It's stupid. I mean, this is really about as challenging as being put on your computer's desktop and being asked to click on various icons at various points in time. Otherwise, you will have to start clicking on the icons again. It's tedious, pointless, it's stupid, and you really aren't accomplishing anything by playing it. There's no challenge, there's no feeling of strength or power that comes from a normal snipity section, where you are picking your targets like a man would. Note there is nothing over there. That will come into play later on. So this man here, meanwhile, is blundering slowly around here. We have to wait because it is telling us to. And again, they don't actually trust you to know when the guy is behind the red truck, so what they actually mean is put him down when the icon turns red to indicate that he is behind the red truck. This is a game that does not trust you to know what a red truck is or what it looks like when someone is behind it, and also he was a bit slow with that comment, being as we had dropped that motherfucker before he even started saying it. Okay, so we've got to wait till this guy gets back to his truck, because that is fascinating. There he goes, blundering slowly forward without a care in the world. I walk very close to my truck because I'm just that kind of person, I suppose. Right, so he's out of it, and now there is one more fellow lurking around in a place. There we go. So let's kill him off, and then we have to do the really, really stupidly hard section. There's a bunch of exploding barrels over there for no good reason. But what you've got to do here is you've got to run to the helicopter after they tell you about it, after they have done their thing with the truck. However, it decides to respawn guys either side of you continuously, and I'm fairly sure it's on a timer. I've actually never found out. It might be a very long timer, but that's not the point at all. You've got to make a suicidal run right down the middle of there to the helicopter. The section is pointlessly, mindlessly difficult, and I've really never found an elegant way to do it. So, we've got to take out as many of these guys as possible, despite the fact they respawn, so there's no point in taking them out at all. Also, these barrels here respawn if they... Oh, right. I guess we're going to have to fall off something again. No, we're not, actually. You don't fall off it, you have to run off it, because apparently the church tower being hit by an RPG doesn't really affect you at all. So, we've got to make our way further down. They've apparently rigged up some sort of alarm for some reason, and we have to push through to the helicopter. And that's the thing, we saw the helicopter fly overhead earlier. It's not like the helicopter had even landed before the point where we ended the sneaking section, so we can't even use that as our excuse. However, over here is the last of the intelligences in more than one sense. Racial conflicts turn bloody in Japan. Bloody Japan, I say. So let's run over here, where we don't have to deal with any of the associatedness anymore. And shortly we will cut away, because we are going to die repeatedly, and you will see a bunch of loading screens as a result. So... let's dash forth here and take out this man with our shuttle gun device, and then load it back up again as the thunder flashes dramatically in the distance in a manner we really can't hear at all. Well, no, I don't think he's going to tell you, but let's throw more of these around here, and then we will have to find out we don't have any fragmentational grenades left. We'll run forward here, trying to take these guys out. Really, the only hope you have here is that one of these guys is going to spawn with a PWS Diablo behind you as opposed to with an M4, because if a guy with an M4 spawns behind you, he will gun the shit out of you and you will be deaded. And here are all those loading screens from the many times when I failed, including Patrick McRacial stereotype there, hiding with his Irish lad behind some sort of structure, some childish people pushing over a Humvee, and an inexplicable German Tiger tank on the Hoover Dam, because the Koreans have one of those for some reason. There's also a man there attaching a bomb to the underside of one of their Chinese-type tanks. And it took me ages to recognize that was what was actually going on in that. But never mind that. Let's drop down here, whip out our stuff, and then we will continue onward. You don't have to pick up the intel this time because we've already got it. So let's push through to them. You know, it would be nice if they actually helped, but then again, it would be nice if they actually had the helicopter pilot at the helicopter as some part of their stupid plan. But never mind that. Let's take out more of these dudes here with this machinery that we have at our disposal. Load it back up, give it a bit of that, and then we will take out some more of these guys to try and thin out their respawnity ranks. Yeah, I love the nagging here, because they're asking one guy to run through all of these people who are all over them, and this is cause to nag him. Sense does not factor into this at all, I think. But we've got to take out some more of these guys here. They're being overrun, they say. I don't know why they think I'm going to be able to help them with that, but that doesn't matter. More of these guys need to be taken out, and those men are trying to mate with one another. That is not a thing that should be done in public, don't you know? And thus we have thwarted it. So, let's take that guy out there, and then we will make our run, our rowdy, roady, Rodney run, which we shall proceed with grenades and strength. Forth we go, and we are in critical health, but that will not affect us. We are a hero who can run forwards towards this here helicopter, whereupon, of course, the pilot will be the last one to get in, because it makes sense for us to do it in that order. Also, we will now have Connor, because we are a silent protagonist who can't say anything, we'll have to blatantly say one of our lines for us. Here we go. How the hell do you know? You're not a pilot, I am. So that would kind of make sense if Jacobs was saying it, but Jacobs can't say anything. He is a spectator in his own story. So let us glide forth around here, and then we will have defeated the thing, and we will have the finale message type. What's it?
Korean tankers carrying
oh right, we're giving all them away as well.
Resistance operations are underway to intercept. Our soldiers need any and all resources we can provide to help them defeat the occupation.
Yeah, because yeah, the resistance in Utah has done such a fine job of that already.
I will, as always, be here as your conduit.
Who are you again?
This is the voice of freedom.
Alright, so that has been that, and now we will see our Irish stereotypical fellow once again, as he hides behind whatever that is. And that has been that, and I've been Evil Tim.